In 1989, the movie Best of the Best had a rather abbreviated run in theaters, only grossing a mere $1.7 million. The movie, nonetheless, was a major hit on home video and cable. That's why, 3 years later, a sequel, Best of the Best 2, hit theaters, for a while. While the first film has maintained a certain cult status, the sequel, and the two more that followed, have largely been forgotten, until now on this edition of The Best Movie You Never Saw.
Remember, when the buzzer sounds, there is only one rule.
Best of the Best 2 came from the same creative team behind Best of the Best, including director Robert Radler and producer-star Phillip Rhee, although intriguingly, it was co-written by a TV actor of the time named John Allen Nelson, who starred on Baywatch for a few seasons, played Paul the Wine Guy on Friends, and has shown up as a guest actor on most of the biggest shows on TV. In the 90s, he had a nice sideline going as a writer of B-action movies, but I digress.
Did you kill Travis Brickley?
Easily.
Yeah.
Best of the Best 2 picks up where the first film left off, with the US karate team being crowned the victors of their international competition by their rivals, the Koreans, who admire their valor and brotherhood in the ring. The three leads from the first film, Eric Roberts' Alex Grady, Phillip Rhee's Tommy Lee, and Chris Penn's Travis Brickley, have gone into business together, opening a karate school in Las Vegas, where Alex's son, Walter, is a prize student. Being a huge fan of the first film, there's something oddly touching about the fact that these three guys have joined together to raise Alex's son, especially given that Travis was such a racist asshole in the first film, but now has been wholly redeemed by the time the second film rolled around and is now kind of a peach of a guy. It shows, people can change. But alas, Chris Penn is still not really convincing as a martial artist.
One or two punches right on the chin, I believe you'd go right out.
You have a big mouth, boy.
And a big everything else.
Something the movie actually plays into when Travis gets in over his head competing in an underground cage match at a fight club called the Coliseum, which is lorded over by a brutal killer named Brackus, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger's old training partner, Ralf Moeller, who would later be cast to great effect in Ridley Scott's Gladiator. Travis is killed while poor Walter watches, sending Tommy and Alex on the warpath. So here's the thing, Best of the Best 2 is quite different from the first movie. That one was a Karate Kid, Rocky-style sports movie, while this is much more of a martial arts-driven action film in the vein of Kickboxer or Bloodsport. It shouldn't really work, but it does, largely due to the terrific acting from leads Eric Roberts and Phillip Rhee. Both men are often sneered at as DTV guys, not that there's really anything wrong with that, and they brought a lot of heart to the Best of the Best movies, making them a cut above the average action fare you might have found in a video store in the 90s.
Wait, where are the Schwarzenegger films?
Foreign films are in the back.
No, action. This guy's an action star.
Down the center, on the left.
Eric Roberts in particular is one of the most sensitive action heroes of all time, with him breaking into tears seemingly at the drop of a hat. He does so over and over in both movies, but it's oddly touching. As a former martial arts student, I remember finding it very affecting in the early sequences when Walter fails his test for his next belt but takes it gracefully, leading to a teary-eyed speech from his dad about how he showed him what a winner really is. Yeah, it's cheesy stuff, but also kind of nice and a good message in tune with the first film.
The way you handled your disappointment, it makes me prouder than I ever imagined, Walter. You have become a man, and I'm just so happy to be your dad.
But again, the movie is much more of an action film, with Tommy and Alex trying to avenge their friend's death at the hands of Brackus and his handler, a Vegas smoothie played by none other than a real Vegas smoothie himself, Wayne Newton.
Through the roof, yes! Give me a little kiss. Thanks.
The two, with Walter, the only witness in tow, have to hightail it to the desert to stay with Tommy's Native American grandmother, with his uncle, played by Predator star Sonny Landham, a broken-down alcoholic who conveniently is revealed as a one-time fighter who actually managed to defeat the unbeatable Brackus in the ring, leading to him training Alex and Tommy on how to appropriately fight this unkillable opponent. One thing that's notable is how Eric Roberts, despite being the bigger star, takes the backseat here in the action department to the more trained Phillip Rhee, who's abducted by Brackus' men cameraman and forced into a series of brutal fights at the Coliseum while Alex looks for him. Roberts gets some gunplay, which seems more in his comfort zone than karate from the first film, but all the big fights go to Rhee, who's an excellent fighter, but also has vulnerability a lot of his contemporaries didn't really have. The fight between him and Brackus almost has a tragic air to it, as Tommy really doesn't want to kill, but fate makes him a killer. The sequel, Best of the Best 3, is all about the fact that Tommy leaves his friends behind and takes a trip across America to come to terms with the fact that he had to kill, although in a weird twist he ends up fighting the KKK in a small town, in an addition to the franchise that seems more modeled on First Blood than the other films. Best of the Best 2 is different from the first film, but it still has a lot of moments that pay off for fans, such as Tommy's opponent from the first film, Dahan, played by Rhee's real-life brother Simon, helping Alex save Tommy, as he swore a blood oath at the end of the first film to replace the brother he had initially killed in the ring. It's nice to see him live up to the oath, so the brotherhood aspect of the first film wasn't just ditched. Roberts also gets a good love interest in Meg Foster as a TV reporter who initially seems to turn on him, only to go to bat for him and Walter in the end.
Hey, he saved my life today. Let him tell you all about it. Tell her all about it.
Surprisingly, Best of the Best 2 actually did a lot better than the first film theatrically, making about 5 times as much at the box office. Although considering how low the gross was on the first film, that still only amounted to about $6 million. But again, it was a major hit on video and cable and spawned 2 more direct-to-video sequels, although sadly, they didn't have all that much in common with the first movies, and this would be Eric Roberts' last time doing a Best of the Best film. Taken together, the 2 Best of the Best movies are very solid, sporting a couple of great performances from Roberts and Rhee, and some really nifty fights. If you haven't checked them out but enjoy fight movies from that era, or a show like Cobra Kai, which to me has always felt more like the Best of the Best movies than The Karate Kid, I highly recommend checking it out. It's a lot of fun.
Think about this.